Folks, holy cow, I don't know. I guess I'm live. I think I'm live. Does anyone see me? It says waiting for mountain bike Q&A. I'm here, folks. If you can see me, give me a little chat down there. Okay, I can see me now. I'm still new at this, folks, but gosh darn it, it's really fun. And I got to tell you, I'm bringing back Mike from RunBikeMike. Not because I'm running out of people. It's because I love the guy. I love his content. I love his channel. He's just, I don't know how he does it. And we're going to find out. So let's bring him on. Let's bring on Mike. Mike.
Hey.
There he is, folks. Holy cow. We've already got Roman's downtown. He's got thumbs up.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's you.
Oh, too kind.
It's you, Mike.
You're too kind.
How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing great. Doing great. Staying busy. All that stuff.
How's Missouri this time of year?
It's beautiful.
Really?
The leaves. I just went out for a bike ride this morning out at one of our local trails. The leaves are all changing. They're all falling down. It looks incredible here. So I love it. Fall is my favorite time of the year in this area.
Yeah, you get all those pretty colors.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
We get green and then brown. That's all we get here. We don't get pretty colors. The palm fronds fall off the palm trees.
Yeah,
and that's it. It needs to be more. There needs to be so much more here. Missouri, are you getting a good temperature for riding? Are you winded from the heat or?
Well, we legit get every season for about 3 months. And so we just came off. Yeah, it's wow. It kind of shifts a little bit. It's kind of weird. Our seasons have kind of changed over the last several years. We used to get a lot of ice in the winter, but now we don't get as much. But like, for instance, 2 months ago, it was 95, 100 degrees. Humidity was way high. Now, this morning I went out and it was 50 degrees when I biked, which is right freezing for you, but it's amazing for around here. Like, everybody that I know of around this area is like, I love mornings where you can pop on a hoodie and, you know, have a cup of coffee and it's nice and cool out. So, yeah.
You're probably still wearing, I'm just noticing, I got some sun today.
Yeah, well, I bet you did. Out there on that ocean.
Wife says sup.
Hey.
Say hi to my wife. She's a big supporter. So you're wearing shorts and a hoodie though, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
See, I'd be in a full-on winter coat, snow pants and 50.
Well, you know what's funny is that I have a brother-in-law that came from California years back, and he lived there for several years in the Navy. And whenever he came back to Missouri, his lips were blue at 50 degrees. And I think it took him a while, but you adapt, you know, you get used to it and you appreciate it. And then you're like, when's winter going to be over? Even though it's very short, it's like 3 months. You're like, that's the longest 3 months ever. And then spring comes and you're like, oh my gosh, 50 feels like you could wear tank tops and everything. And then fall 50, you have to wear a hoodie. So it's weird.
Oh no, Eric, riding dirty. Oh snap! What up, my guys? What's up, riding dirty? It's my boy. Yeah. He's crazy on a bike.
Yeah,
he's crazy on a bike. Have you ever seen any of his stuff?
I have watched some of his stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Are you shredding like him?
No.
Come on, yeah you are. Yeah you are. Talk to me about riding today. What trails did you go on?
So we have the trail systems around here are a little kind of unique. We have 3 different main trail systems. The newest one is called Fellows Lake, and it wraps around basically the water preserve for the city of Springfield. And with the work of the city of Springfield and city utilities who owns the property, they built a trail system, which is like 30 some miles around the outside of it.
Wow.
But most of it's XC style, which is really popular in this area. Now there's a lot of like Bentonville's only an hour and a half away. So of course you get like people who like to jump and do drops and all that stuff. There's a large group of people that love old school, like XC style trail. And that's kind of what Fellows Lake is. And so we wound up doing a pretty long ride. It wound up being like 26 miles. And it was the longest ride I've done in a long time, but it's not 26 miles of extremely rough trail. It's smooth. So you can go relatively quick on it, which is really fun. And I've always wanted to build, ever since I built that trail, I've wanted to build a single speed XC style bike that would just be an extremely fast bike to ride out there. So that's something that I'm hoping to be able to do within the next like probably 6 months to a year, something really fast for that style of trail. But then we also have other trail systems that are like rocky and rooty. And then we have a trail system that I would call is like a Bentonville wannabe, where it's got like tabletops, it's got slope style, and it was built by a company called Progressive Trail Design, which builds a lot of stuff down in Bentonville. But it's 10 or 12 years old at this point, so it hasn't really been like updated like the newer style of trail, but it's still a great place, and it's called Two Rivers. So Two Rivers is probably the most popular out of all of them, just because it's got a skills park, it's got a jump area, it's got XC and enduro style type stuff, about 12 to 13 miles worth of trail out there.
Now, see, this is why we don't ride like that. Someone's got a broken toe.
Oh no.
Son of a. What up, people? How's it going? Venikava, MTB. Got some SoCal people out here.
Yeah.
You were so busy. Yeah. Have you been able to get a lot of riding in this summer?
I've done a decent amount. I haven't. I'm not sure how much you know about this, but I'm a big endurance guy. I love my name's RunBikeMike, so on YouTube. So I used to be deep into running, like 50K, half marathon, marathons, all those type of things. And I still love it, but I've definitely transitioned over more towards the mountain biking side. I used to do a lot of road biking, and just mountain biking is where my passion is truly at right now. And I try to get in a decent amount of riding. I would say I probably average. I don't even want to say that. That's embarrassing. I like to ride.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Oh no, like I said, I rode for the first time last week in 2 months, and I felt it. I did not have the lungs, and I was riding with a 65-year-old buddy who just wanted to keep going, and it was getting dark. He started at 5 o'clock, and I'm like, dude, I left my lungs at home. We rode 7 miles.
I get it. I mean, life gets really busy, but my whole thing is like, as long as I can maintain this small base of riding skill and endurance, I'm happy. And if I can get to that, I really like to sign up for like events. That way I'm motivated to actually get out and train. And that's kind of where I've been kind of lacking a little bit in probably the last year, because I've been so dedicated to doing YouTube stuff that I haven't signed up for so many events. And plus events, I don't know if you've ever done any events or anything, but they get really expensive. And over the last probably 3 years, the price has just skyrocketed for an event.
Making up for lost time during the COVID. Probably.
I've got my BT Epic shirt on, and this event just actually took place this weekend, and I was so sad that I didn't actually go to it. It's the event that I did the last 2 years. The first year I didn't finish. And then the second year, which was last year, I actually finished, and it was a 50-mile XC style, out in the middle of nowhere, Missouri type of ride.
I love Missouri. I remember the first time we talked, I was just like, because I've never been there.
Yeah.
And you're talking mountain biking. I don't even know what's in Missouri.
We've got, it's really growing
so
with
much terrain, huh?
What's that?
You have so much different terrain than other than like we have flat.
Well, for sure. I mean, it's really weird, because if you start going up north, it's totally different than what it is in like my area of Missouri. And then if you go down in the Boot Hill, it's even different. I mean, it's, and it's just minute differences that you'll notice. Like if you go up to St. Louis, some of the soil starts to get a little bit less rocky. I mean, it's still rocky. Don't get me wrong. The joke in Missouri is you put a shovel in the ground, you're going to hit a rock. But down where I'm at, it's literally that's the case. Like I watched Backyard Trail Builders whenever he was building on his own property. And he's digging out dirt. I'm like, there's no way I could do that. There's just rocks everywhere.
Yeah, we'll get back because my wife, you know, talk about stamina and energy to be that active. How do you have the stamina? Energy? He's young. That's why you're a baby.
I don't know that I'm that young. I'm 41.
Oh, I thought you were a baby.
No, I love your reaction. oh, dear Lord, you are old.
The poor kid's 41. Well, but let's get back to the RunBikeMike and the running. This is some false advertising, sir.
Okay.
And you keep it. You've kept it.
Yeah.
Where do you get off?
It's too it's too ingrained in the channel.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you've dealt with like corporate stuff in your life where rebranding costs a lot of money. I don't think it would cost me a lot of money. It would definitely cost me something because my business is RunBikeMike. So that's what I actually call it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Bike Mike. It doesn't rhyme the same as RunBikeMike. So,
RunBikeMike.
And you know what? If bikes go away, I can always run. My legs.
You know, go back to just for the heck of it, throw out a running video.
You know,
just to keep it genuine.
They're just not popular. I keep them on the channel. Because I had the Insta360 1X2 and I just recently sold it. And when I got that intentionally for running videos. And it's awesome for running videos. Like, I don't know if you ever went back and watched any of them, only like 4 people probably did, but you could hold that thing out and it would look like somebody's filming you. It's cool. But yeah, they're just not like you'll get some of those guys that are like, and girls that are like specifically pushing out their running videos, but they are only a running channel. Like the, what's his name? The Ginger Runner. His channel is like, if you ever want to watch running videos, he has some amazing videos. Amazing. So
41. So 40 is the new 20, you know, so 50 is the new 30. You. I'm a baby too now.
Yes.
No. Let's get to your channel, RunBikeMike.
Yeah.
Bike Mike.
Yeah.
I want to hang my hat on this because when I first interviewed you, I can't remember, 1,000 subs?
Probably.
A little over. Now we're getting rounding on 7,000.
Yep.
I'd like to think I have a lot to do with that.
I do too. 100%.
I had nothing to do with it.
No, I get told all the time. It's the MTB Q&A.
Get told all the time what?
What's that?
Get told all the time what?
That MTB Q&A. That's where I found you.
Stop it. I'm out of here. I'm out. Where's the end broadcast?
Where's the end? I don't know where it's at either. So
no, but it's incredible. And it's all because of your content. You're putting it out like crazy. Well, where do you find the time?
I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know.
All your answers. I don't know.
My life is insanely busy, but I truly believe that if you're passionate about something, that you can find time to do what you want to do. It just may not be at the time that you think that it's convenient for you. It could be late at night, early in the morning. You know, I'm editing whenever I get a spare moment. And it's not like I sit down and edit for hours or look at the video that I've shot or shoot video. It's, hey, I've got 30 minutes. I know exactly what I need to go do, and I go do it. Or I need to learn how to do this new thing. So that's when I go to do it. Really? So we'll get to this. You're so dedicated to your channel. And
that you're just like any second you get, because I know you have kids, you have a wife, you've got a job. We were talking about that earlier, that you're still working. Do you find yourself at work and just being like, do this one little edit right here real quick?
That would be ideal. Anytime I can take a break, I definitely have my mind on what's next for the channel, whether it's do I need to make a post in the afternoon? So like on my lunch breaks, I work at home 3 days a week. And a lot of times on my lunch breaks, I'm like, okay, go set up for whatever you need to record and record it. So like any of my talking to the cameras, any type, now don't get me wrong. It's really convenient, and I'm super fortunate and grateful that I have a trail system that I built in my backyard. Yeah. I can do a lot of mountain bike filming out there, and that helps a lot with the time constraints, but definitely slammed with all kinds of things. Both my girls are in volleyball. We're heavily involved in that. Just normal life, work stuff, but I just try to take little moments of my time, and then it all adds up to an 8-minute video. So yeah.
And you're getting great. What's a taco cat?
Oh, no.
Average American.
Yeah, this must be my buddy Aaron. He took me out to Howler Bike Park. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's
that's where your boy or your other backyard builder, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, backyard trail builder. He built all those features out there. I just went out there with him, with Aaron, who's making that comment. And Taco Cat is their like black or double black. I can't remember what it's rated. I'm sure he can tell us, but it's like got all those features that backyard trail builder built. And
you'll never see me on
it's above my pay grade right now.
Yeah, that's totally above mine. I watched that thing. That's too way.
I feel like I could get there, but I just don't feel like I've got the bike that I need. I feel like I need a little bit longer travel. And I think that the landings need to be just a little bit smoother for me to venture out there. But with enough talking into it, I could probably, try a few of those features. I suggested to him, I said, what we should suggest? We should suggest a mini Taco Cat. So, that'd be nice.
You didn't get to hang out with backyard trail builder? No? I don't know if that's what you were talking about, like when you said a mini Taco Cat.
No. Just the people that work there. That would be really cool, because if a lot of these bike parks, they have to build big features at first to attract people. But if they could build like on their next phase, like one that's like a blue line, that's like similar to the one that they built, that's the black line, but so you could progress, Yeah. Because that's what gets me. And that's what I really love about like going down to Bentonville. They have so much stuff that you can progress on, that you could learn how to handle those bigger features in the long run.
Yeah, I got to learn bigger features. I'm stuck here in South Florida. I'll tell you, I was telling you about, I just went riding a couple of weeks ago, last weekend, and I went on a trail I've never been on. It's the first trail. It's like an hour and some away from my house. Wife was away. And so I met a buddy, and the feature, they built a whole new section in the back. And again, down here, if you stop pedaling, you stop riding.
Right.
But the features were legit.
Nice.
Like the GoPro effect was on big time. I was going up stuff and going down, and I was just like, ah! But there's no big drops or anything like that.
Right.
Average guy says that, the landing on the aero drop needs to be built up. Mr. Dirty took the 140 million travel bike at Bike Part, and it slayed.
Nice.
It's
that's the thing is, I think no matter what, like if you got somebody who legit knew how to handle that stuff, they could do it on whatever bike. But I want as much like cushion and protection to get me through it, and then I could probably go down. Like if I had like a 150 or 170 travel bike, like the aero drop that's on Taco Cat would probably be like, okay, I think I may be able to do this. But on a 130, you know, somebody who really knows how to handle it,
yeah,
130 would be more than enough.
Okay, enough about Taco Cat. I don't even know Taco Cat. I'm going to Google Taco. My wife said you had her at Taco and Cat. Doesn't take much for her. Your channel. Now you went in an interesting direction. You started doing series.
Yeah.
Was that okay, if I do a series, was that like a thought? Something you came up, you were like, if I do a series, then I can have X amount of videos from that.
That helped. Yeah, that was one of the thoughts for sure. Like with the Walmart bike, the Giordano that I did, that one was really nice because I actually had planned out like, okay, I can do a series. I can do a video for every upgrade. Here's about the average upgrades, the average number of upgrades I want to do. And
yeah,
it was really, a lot of it was winging it. I just knew that I wanted to do series because it allows me to kind of somewhat structure everything.
Yeah.
And that was actually a really nice learning process whenever it came to like my channel. Like, okay, series stuff is going to work really well because people can know what to expect. And that's definitely probably my most successful series. I've done like trail build stuff.
Yeah.
And it's done okay, but the Giordano with the budget build, it was really nice because like every week somebody could come to the channel and see that video, and I would do a really short, like 5 to 10 second recap of like last week we did this, and this week we're going to do this, and then give them a kind of a clue of like, hey, something's coming the next week. That was the series where my daughters threw the boxes at my head.
I was going to get to that.
Yeah, that was fun. That was just like, that was one of those things that I was like, okay, girls, I want you to come out here and throw something at me.
They're like, yes.
Yeah. They're like, okay,
sure. That, Dad.
And by the time we got to the end of it, my oldest daughter, her boyfriend was even involved. And I'm like,
oh, yeah,
I don't know what I'm doing here.
You're going to want to take a hit. Right. So it was a conscious decision to say, you know, because you still, I don't remember what you started out with. You did a bike build, and it was a road bike. Was that one of your first series? My voice just changed. Sorry, I'm going through puberty.
I want to say the first one that I did was that 90s mountain bike, that Huffy.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. I just recently sold that one. I actually sold almost all those bikes.
Really?
Yeah. They are hard to sell. I do not recommend to get into that unless you're Old Shovel. I don't know if you watch his stuff.
Yeah, I know.
He can probably sell all those bikes because of who he is, but there is not a market for old bikes right now.
I remember that. And I don't know if you've got the Old Shovel. When you did that one, I thought of him the whole time because it was a total ASMR.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You just turn on the audio and just go do what you got to do. And you hear the and the sand and the bearings in the tin. And
that was my whole thought on it was, every time I do something on YouTube, it's like an experiment. Like, is this going to actually work? Will it take off? And some of those experiments, you have to like do them long enough to actually, you know, take hold. But after I did the Walnut Springs bike, which was the Huffy rebuild, and then I did the wow, I just drew a complete blank. The road bike that I turned to a gravel bike. After I did that one, I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. So, cause it started to be really hard to find a bike. And then like to get rid of them, to sell them, that road bike, I took probably a $300 loss on that one.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a little harsh. Whenever I refurbished it and made it look good, I thought this is going to be good. I'm going to be able to do this and like get more bikes and maybe make like 50, 60 bucks on the bike, maybe $100. No.
Took a loss.
Yeah.
How confident were you in the whole painting?
Zero.
I've painted bikes. I took a single speed and threw on some huge ape hangers and kind of, it was like a show bike, if you will.
Yeah.
And that, you were doing a I was just doing it for me. So if it didn't look good.
Yeah. I didn't have any confidence in it at all, but I was like, well, I've seen people do it.
You are though.
I was like, well, I've seen people do it, so I think I can do it. That's the amazing thing about YouTube is like, you can look at, I didn't know anything about painting. So then I just started watching channels that painted bikes and took their advice. And I was like, okay, here we go. So I did it. I think it turned out really good. Everybody that saw that bike in person was like, this looks really nice. I'm like, I could see the issues, right? You know how anytime you do something, you can see the little mistakes.
Yeah, you're right up there. You're not watching on the here.
Exactly.
I had some weird kind of bubbling with the when I painted and then I put the clear coat on. It was some weird bubbling. I had to scrape it all off again. And
yeah.
Thank God I didn't do that on YouTube. I mean, plus you get to edit it.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Yeah. That definitely there was some things that had redos on it, but the painting actually went really smooth. But some things, like I would buy like a bike part and think that it was the right piece, and then it wasn't, and then I would have to like order another one and be like, oh God, I got that wrong. But it was nothing too big, so it wasn't.
Yeah. What is?
Oh,
is my audio bad?
It is bubbling a little bit.
Is it bubbling?
Yeah, it kind of sounds staticky.
I just bought a new mic.
It sounded good for a long time, so I wonder if it's the StreamYard.
Yeah, I wonder if it is.
Yeah, somebody else that I watched last week was having some trouble with StreamYard. It turned them blue.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, that sounds better. Whatever you're doing seemed to fix it.
Does it sound better now?
Oh, there it is. Never mind.
Does it sound? It's back?
Yeah.
Man, I'm not liking the StreamYard thing here.
Yeah, I wonder if it's got to be StreamYard. Because your mic sounded really good at the beginning.
Well, now when it starts crying, folks, you're going to see a grown cry. Okay, now this one. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's still really staticky.
I just bought a new mic.
I know. I saw that.
Now.
It's like progressively getting worse.
You know what? You should just talk. You're all done about you anyway.
Yeah, I don't really. I'm not good at hosting, so we'll see if you unplugging this works. Can't hear you. Yeah, I it's got to be StreamYard doing that. Yeah, it's still not able to hear you. Can you hear me? Well, I guess while we're waiting, if anybody has questions or anything, you can ask me questions. I can see them and I can talk to you, but Johnny here is, he's stuck. Oh no, he put me on the main camera. Well, yeah. So while he's talking, that's my Marin. So if you guys are watching my channel, I bought the Marin for a budget. Look, you're back.
Can you hear me?
You left me alone for a while.
Can you hear me?
Nervous.
Oh, cool looking bike in the back. Yes. Is it a Marin?
It is a Marin. It is the Rift Zone 129. And so far.
Okay. Well, let's get back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's still the same thing.
Holy cow. Holy cow. That's unpleasant.
Yeah. So I guess my audio is not doing it at all.
I really honestly think it is StreamYard, and I'm going to have a chat with them.
Yeah, you should.
Static. Talk to me. I'm scratchy still.
What's that?
I'm scratchy.
Yeah, you're still pretty scratchy.
Okay, talk to me about what has been your favorite series that you've put out. That's what I wanted to know, because you put out so many.
Well, my favorite one that I've created is definitely the Giordano, the Walmart build, just because I took more creative aspects in it. Everything that I've learned from, working with my cameras to working with Final Cut Pro to also just understanding like how to build up bikes and upgrade bikes. And then it also opened my eyes quite a bit to you don't have to have a super high-end bike to have a ton of fun. It's a $650 bike out the door. And granted, I did put about that same amount of money into upgrades. That bike's impressive. I've been very impressed with it. There's only a few things that I've been somewhat kind of like, I can see why you would spend a little bit more money. Like the rear hub doesn't seem to be sealed. And so dirt gets in there and that's kind of a pain, and you can clean it out and it doesn't have a weird sound anymore. But that's just the big thing with me with this particular bike is that somebody could go out and buy a bike for $650 who couldn't afford something that's over $1,000, go out to their local trail, ride this bike for several months, and slowly start the upgrade process and have a really nice bike. Now, some people don't like to do that. Some people are like, let's buy a bike that's $2,500, $3,000 and be done with it. And if you can do that, I think that's awesome. But if you can't do that, buying a budget bike and then slowly upgrading the parts that you need is a really good solution to get you out on the trail right away. Because if you're not actually able to go out on the trail because you can't afford the bike that you want, then that kind of stinks. So buy a bike that you can afford and then get out on the trail and then slowly upgrade it, or save for the bike that you really truly want is my suggestion.
Yeah, I think, and a lot of people, not a lot of people, but people have always made fun of I'm scratchy.
No, you're good.
Oh, a lot of people have made fun of the Walmart bikes, and I find it interesting. A lot of people are now doing what you're doing and showing that they're putting them out now.
Yeah.
And it's getting people into the sport. Maybe they're starting out with your six. Heck, I started out, but it was 20 some years ago. My bike was $500, but that was 20 years ago.
Right.
But it's really interesting now that it's helping people get on a bike.
Yeah. Now, definitely don't just go out and buy like a Walmart bike. Like,
exactly,
you really have to be in a certain, like, there's a lot of people buying like the Kent Travell, which is a great bike to start with, but there's going to be some inherent things that you're going to need to upgrade relatively quickly. And mainly the first thing that you'll see almost everybody who does a video on the Kent Travell is the brakes. Those brakes on there like, if you ever get into any steep situations, they're a little iffy because they're cable driven disc brakes and they're just not high quality. But you can upgrade to hydraulics for like $60, like the Shimano MT200s. They'll work really, really well, and it's only $60 upgrade. So you can buy a $300 and some bike and do that, but you don't want to be confused with just going to Walmart and buying a bike, because some of those bikes can't even be upgraded.
No, I get that, but I'm saying it's interesting that Walmart is now putting out a bike that gets people's butts in a saddle.
For sure. Yeah. And the Kent, it's Kent, and Kent makes Giordano. Giordano is like another company that they own. And I don't know if Giordano is just the fancy brand or what, but when someone says Kent, I had a Kent. It was red and yellow. I was a kid. Yeah.
It was a Kent trail climber.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta look it up because every time I see the Kent, I'm like, oh my God, I had a Kent when I was a little kid.
Well, what a lot of people don't know about, Kent is the second largest bike manufacturer in the world. So they make almost, I mean, they make a lot of low end bikes. That's the thing, is they make a ton of low end bikes, but that's what a lot of people buy their kids whenever they first start learning to ride a bike. Most of them are made by Kent. So it's an interesting company.
Here, we'll just drop $10,000 on an e-bike.
Yeah.
Come on. That's your next That's your next move is the $10,000 e-bike?
You know, if I come across a $10,000 and I can spend it on an e-bike, then yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Honestly, really what I would love to do, like one of my dream series things to be able to do is to build an e-bike all the way from like just the frame and buying the motor and the batteries and everything, and not just do it like the add-on ones. I've thought about doing that, but actually buying a frame that will actually take a battery and it's designed to fit in the battery, fit in the frame and all that. So I would really like to do it. Like there's a guy out there, his channel is Rob MTBs. I think that's what his EMTBs, Rob EMTBs. He's done that a time or two. And I'm like, that would be really fun.
Is that guy down here?
No, he's overseas.
Oh, okay. Because I know there was the e-bike guy down here that reviews a lot of them.
Yeah. I love e-bikes.
Has your wife gotten to the point like, stop, okay?
No, she's
there's a box out the door every morning, mister.
No, and you know why? And it's all thanks to the people who watch my channel, because anybody who watches my channel, not just the members, they're supporting the channel because I'm getting ad revenue, and I'm able to self-sustain the channel from the ad revenue.
Nice.
And so like any of these bikes and bike parts that I'm buying, it's because people are watching my channel and watching the stuff, and I'm able to buy, you know, a new crankset or a new set of grips, and pretty much every penny for the most part that comes into this channel goes back into it for parts for bikes.
So you've actually gotten to a point where this channel is just, it's on its own.
It's self-sustainable for the budget bikes. Yes.
Yeah.
I can't quite get into the Santa Cruz and the Specialized and the e-bikes, but there's always a dream, right?
But you gotta, you know, your channel kind of lends itself to that.
Yeah.
You know,
I like it. You know what was a really big eye-opening is I was doing all those how-to videos, how to repair certain things on a bike, how to install a headset. Yeah. And the videos that did the best are the ones that are commonplace across a lot of like entry-level bikes, like how to adjust V-brakes. Like that video has done better because more people have that, and more people have that problem. And just like with these budget bikes, a bike under 2,000 or under 1,000 for a hardtail, there's a lot more people that have those bikes than there are people that have $3,000 to $5,000 bikes.
You know, your little how-to you did that got me was, and I commented, the postcard, or not the postcard, the business card.
Yeah, the brakes.
Between the brakes.
Yeah.
The disc.
Yeah, I don't know where I learned that
I've always just gripped it, loosen and tighten, and loosen, grip the brake and tighten. But I just actually have new pads here right now.
Nice.
I'm going to throw my business card in there.
Yeah, it really does work. It prevents, to me, it doesn't make sense, but it works every single time. If I've ever had any type of disc rub when I put new pads on, I just put a business card on each side, then tighten it down, and it just works. It's weird.
Amazing. How have what we've had? Well, I had this problem. You're talking about your series. What was your favorite to do? I didn't ask you that. I was busy with this. I was asking. No, not your favorite. Did I ask you that?
No.
What was your favorite series to do, and what has done the best?
My favorite series that I actually created was definitely you kind of asked me that with the Giordano.
Yeah, the
I really like that because that was fun.
What did the best though? What do you?
The Giordano's definitely done the best. Yeah, I mean, I've had other videos do better, like single videos, but series wise, definitely the Walmart bike, the budget build up on that. It was just a lot of fun. It's just a ton of fun seeing a bike that I thought was gonna kind of be like a little bit of a joke, and didn't think that it was going to be super fun. And I've actually found that I love riding that bike. I just did an enduro on that bike.
Yeah, your buddy here said,
yeah,
bro, it rips, and he outran him.
Yeah, well,
man.
You know, to save him, he was on a very plush bike that had a lot of suspension, so it wasn't designed for that type of enduro.
Bouncing around.
Yeah, well, he was there. He probably had a lot more pedal bob than the old hardtail had. So
we got Arizona in here.
Heck yeah,
Backyard Shredder. What's up, brother?
I need to get out there and ride sometime. That place is beautiful. Phoenix area.
No, Arizona, Arkansas.
Oh, I love that too. I'm down there.
Have you been?
Arkansas?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I go down there probably once a month.
What do you ride there?
What's that?
What do you ride there?
I rode the Giordano last time.
No, but I mean, what trails?
Oh, you know, I'll ride all kinds of stuff. I go down to Bentonville. I like to hit up Slaughter Pen a lot, which is in the Bridges area. Kohler,
the shipyard. Have you, or what is a rail yard?
Rail yard. Yeah, that rail yard's awesome. I haven't been there since they repaved it, so it's been a few years because there's so many trails down there. Like, I think I could go down there for one day every single month, and I would not hit the same trail if I really wanted to.
It's nothing but it really is the mountain bike capital.
It's just, there's so much. There's so much.
Mr. Shredder here, and I'm sure this is dad, has got a kid who's stupid. If you got to follow this Backyard Shredder. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah, no, it's one of those where you watch the kid, and he's what do you call that? A kid who's really good at stuff.
Was it groom? I don't know.
I've been on a bird all day. My head is fried.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that's what I meant.
Yeah, Backyard Shredder. I mean, if you're down in the Arkansas area, let me know, and I'll hit you up next time I come down there.
Slaughter Pen. How far away is that for you?
Hour and a half. It's really close.
I really, at some point, while I'm doing this whole YouTube thing, I need to look at a map.
Yeah. Well, what you and your wife should do is you should come up to Arkansas and get an Airbnb. It's an amazing place. Like, even if you're not into mountain biking, it's beautiful, and that town is really welcoming to everybody. It's awesome. We love going down there and just staying for a weekend, just me and my wife. Even if we're not mountain biking, she doesn't mountain bike, but we'll go to the coffee shops and, you know, hang out at the farmer's market. It's an awesome place. Yeah, there's the bike in. I've heard of that. That looks like a pretty cool little place to stay.
But somebody told me there was a Walmart museum there.
Yeah, there is. It's weird.
It's weird. My wife is down, man. Let's meet up at some point. This is what I like about this little channel is I feel like I've got so many people that I could actually meet and ride with all over the country.
Yeah, if you come to the Bentonville area, I'm there 100%.
Have you gotten to the kids and the wife into it yet?
Biking? No.
Yeah.
No. They don't. They let me do my thing. They're just like, no, we'll ride, we'll meander on a bike. We're not going off road. So
have they even, because I was going to ask you how your backyard trail is.
Yeah.
But do they even venture out back?
They'll go out there to walk and roam around. Like, my oldest daughter was out there today with some of her friends, and they came back in and they're like, that's crazy out there.
That's from my dad's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So talk to me about your backyard. Is it getting, are you keeping it up? I know you had a video where you had to clear a lot of stuff out.
It's a lot of work, but I've gotten to the point where like grass and weeds know not to grow on the trail. Like, they have been beaten down enough that they just don't do it. So like the areas that I have to maintain, I only really have to truly maintain them in the spring when everything's kind of growing, and then just blow off the leaves in the fall. And other than that, and if the trail has been established, like if it's one that I've been riding for a while, it stays pretty maintained itself. Now I've got a lot of walnut trees, and hence the name Walnut Springs.
Really?
Yeah, just a few. And walnut trees are notorious for dropping limbs. So I'm always having to pick up limbs and stuff, but it takes a lot of work to get it established. Like I was really shocked at how much work it was.
So you're still keeping it up. It's not something you did for your channel. You really enjoy
I just
going out there.
Yeah, I wrote it just 2 days ago. I ride it several times a week just to get out and have fun with it.
Yeah, because it does. It's so. I mean, remember that's why I got you on the first time. It's just I was so backyard envious that like you don't even have to go anywhere.
Yeah,
and you've up so much since then.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's one of those things. Like whenever I first started building, I was like, "Oh, cool! I won't have to go anywhere." But you quickly realize that, you know, the amount of land that I have doesn't give you as big of an adventure as what you'd want. It's more of a playground is what I think of it more like a rail yard in my backyard, because like it's not really meant, I can't really get a workout per se. I can do jumps and I can have fun on the features, but I think it's more of a playground than it is anything else.
And that's like there's not a lot of, you're not riding a lot until you get to that next feature.
Right. Yeah. No, they're all pretty close. I mean, it's spread out probably over about 5 acres of my property, but it's a little under a mile of total trail.
Here we go. Lauren's wants the ladies of the mountain biking to go to Napa.
Oh, there you go.
While we go riding. I don't know if that's something your wife would like.
Oh, if it's paved, she would like it, and if there's Napa wine, she would like it. So.
Okay, hold on. I do have to say, my buddy that I was riding with the other weekend is here, Virginia Key, is his backyard. No, it's not. He lives so far away. Let's just get rid of him. Hi, Chuck. So your backyard, you've added
trail to it.
Yeah, because you added to the drop now. You have a second, you don't have to go this way. You can now go. Yeah,
there's two. The drop in is kind of like what I ultimately wanted to do with my trail systems, is being able to, have kind of a flow. Instead before, when I originally started building it, everything was like you ride a feature and then you're kind of done. And then you can go to the next one. I wanted something that was like, you intentionally went down this trail to hit one feature after another.
Yeah.
Well, that was so much fun. And my friends loved that whenever they would come over and we would just do laps of it. I wanted to build another section, something with a little bit bigger features than the first one, because now I'm used to them and they're not scary to me anymore compared to what they were when I first built them.
Yeah.
Now a little bit bigger in these next features, but I definitely feel like I need a tractor, but I don't have one. So it's a lot of manual work to get that dirt moved that needs to be moved.
And again, is it still like before it felt like you were just, because we were talking about this before. Sorry, folks. We talked about this on the last one. Is I couldn't build anything. I'm horrible with it. You give me a hammer and I'll break the whole world up. But you were kind of like playing it along. You were just like off the cuff. You were like, okay, I'll make this, or
yeah.
Are you still that way? Or have you gotten better?
I do a lot of stuff just off the cuff. I mean, I kind of have plans of what I want to do, and then once I have the materials to do it, like the last one that I just built, the to the moon jump, right off the drop in, the new line, I knew exactly what I wanted. And that one was basically duplicated off of the big woody jump. And just because the people that I've had over that have done that big woody jump are like, that's amazing. That is so much fun. And I'm like, it is fun. So I wanted to build a bigger one. So I knew kind of what I wanted to do with that. And then of course I had to buy material. It's a little bit different whenever I don't have to buy material. Sometimes I get stuff given to me, like wood scraps or a deck needs to be tore down.
Yeah.
I can utilize that wood and I can be a little bit more free flowing with it because it doesn't cost a fortune. So
yeah, I remember you had pallets at one point. Somebody donated a bunch of pallets. Now you also changed up the skinny seesaw.
Yeah, I got rid of that. Yeah,
your friends were just like, "Come on, dude, I'm jacking up my shins."
Nobody wanted to ride that, not even me.
Yeah.
It went from just terrifying, and you would almost always fall off of it.
Yeah,
to pretty rideable. And then I was just like, I'm done with it. Let's just make it a really long skinny. So now it's like, I don't know, 30 or 40 foot long skinny.
Yeah.
Which is real easy to build because it's just like pieces of wood. So
you had that really, and I haven't seen that in a while. You had that really long board with the skinny. It was skinny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wild Woody. That's what I call it. I haven't seen that built out of pallets.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah, that's fun. It makes a really cool sound whenever you go over it, which could mean that it's going to break at any time, but it makes a really cool sound.
Pallet wood. It's going to. If you don't know, this guy has his own backyard trail, kind of like your backyard trail builder. This is sick. It's sick. You got to go on and check it out. It's really, you're going to envy his backyard. I still don't like you for it. Now, and we'll get to that, the backyard stuff. But back to your series. You're starting a new series. Tell me about.
Yeah, well,
I look forward to, Mike.
Well, I have that budget and bougie that I've done, which is where I'm comparing a budget like part or component to a higher end component or tool, I guess. Like I did the shock pump comparison, and a couple other things, a wolf tooth tool and a granite tool. And that's really fun. I mean, that was a fun series. I personally enjoyed that quite a bit.
Yeah.
It didn't get as many views as what I was hoping. And I think it's one of those things where those videos will be viewed as the person's interested in buying that product. Yeah. Where like the budget bike builds, like people just like those because it's kind of fun to see somebody take a bike and upgrade it and see what they think of each individual part.
Yeah.
So, and then I've also got the Marin, which I'm working on its video.
That's where I was going with.
Yeah. And this bike is sick.
What is it?
It's a Marin Rift Zone 129. They make a 27.5 version also, but I got the 29 just because that's the tire size that I'm used to for the most part. And I paid full price for it at $1,600, and I've been blown away by it. It's for this area. It's definitely a bike that I could see a lot of people riding and be very happy with it 100% stock. The only big upgrade, or the only upgrade that I really recommend from the get-go on that is a dropper post, because that version doesn't come with it. Now the Rift Zone 2 does come with it. And I just don't like to ride without a dropper post anymore. I just don't like it. I'm so used to using one now. It feels weird, almost foreign, that I don't have one.
Well, what now? The bike.
Yeah.
You got rid of your older bike?
I did. That was.
Is this now the replacement for that?
Kind of.
How long did you have that bike? It was old when we.
10 years. 10 years.
God bless you, man. You're like me. If it works.
Yeah. You know, it's just that bike cost me $3,000, and that was a big purchase, especially and it kind of had sentimental value because I graduated college in 2006, and then I went back and graduated with another degree in 2012 or 13. I don't even know. And that was kind of like my congratulations gift from my wife, was my Kona. And so it kind of had a lot of sentimental value. I went on tons of adventures with it, but you know what really made me want to sell it was the Giordano. The geometry on the Giordano was so different and so much more enjoyable to ride. Right. And then when I jumped back onto my Kona, I was like, this feels weird. Like it felt like I was sitting upright. Like it just felt like old geometry. And I almost couldn't go back to it. But if you didn't know the difference, it was a great bike. So I woke up one morning and I was like, I'm going to list it. And then it sold that afternoon.
Shut up.
It's literally like 6 hours.
10-year-old bike. I tell you, that's what I did. I had, again, sentimental value with my last bike. I had a bike stolen, and my wife surprised me one day after work. I went in the backyard, and she had a little bow on it.
Nice.
And it was like, I can never get rid of this.
Yeah.
But then I had to get rid of it. And it was funny. It was a 10-year-old bike, and I posted it. That night, a guy came and gave me money, and
it's gone.
Yeah, but it was during COVID, so people were wanting bikes anyway.
Right. Yeah. It was definitely like, I didn't think I'd have like a sentimental attachment to a bike, but once it was gone, I was like,
that's weird. You get things we hold on to.
Things but I don't really miss it now. I mean, I've kind of gotten past it, and I'm like, now I see this Marin. This Marin is, twice the bike is what that one was.
Yeah.
But it's, 10 years newer.
Yeah, 10 years newer, new geometry. What are we looking forward to upgrading that on your
Yes.
Your
100%. Yeah. There's actually upgrades on it right now. So if there's somebody who is very good at eyeballing things on bikes, there's things that are already upgraded on it. I've actually got, I think I've got enough footage for 3 videos already.
Right.
So yeah, it's a fun bike.
That's a Bikes Online now, right?
Yeah. The Marin's kind of a unique deal. They're sold on Bikes Online, but they're also sold in bike stores.
Yeah,
I checked with my local bike shop to see if they had anything in stock, and they didn't. All they had was a small, and they weren't sure when they were going to get some in. And Bikes Online had them in stock, and they were on sale. So I jumped on there and took advantage of the sale price.
Yeah, I got a place down the street who has them, and I've looked at them.
Yeah,
I've been tossing around a lot. I don't know what I want yet.
Yeah, it's hard, and the big part for me is that there's not a lot of places that let you test ride them, so you don't know what you like. Like the big shocker to me was whenever I went to Bentonville and I rented a Tallboy, a Santa Cruz Tallboy. And I actually was obsessed with that bike. I still have a picture of one hanging up right here. Yeah. And that was a goal of mine to get one this year. And after test riding it, I was just like, it wasn't the bike for me.
You weren't happy with that. I remember that video.
Yeah, no. And a lot of it was, and I said in that video, a lot of it was, that was a bike that had been beaten down through the rental process.
Yeah.
So
had it been new,
I probably would have loved it, but it just put like a taste in my mouth of like, that's a $5,000 bike. I should have loved it, even if it was beat up. So
yeah, I remember that. You were just like,
Yeah. And that's where it's like with these budget bikes, I've been so shocked at like how little difference I can tell for my riding style. I don't hit anything really, really big. I do go over some technical stuff. I will hit some drops, small drops, jumps.
Yeah.
But for my riding style, most of these bikes that are, like the Marin or something under $2,500 is going to be more than enough bike for what I need.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because I mean, here we don't have the drops, we don't have the jumps. We have a lot of rocky, chunky, coral, whatever. And you're reading those comments. We've got people hiding bodies now.
Yeah. Well, what can you do?
Crazy. But yeah, I'm going to take a look at the Marin. I mean, if you're somebody who thinks that's enough bike.
I do. And if you can find somebody that has one, or you have a bike shop down there that's willing to let you ride one, you probably love it. I mean,
yeah. I'm sorry. We're getting lightning around here on the
lightning round. You're good. Read them away.
I felt like it was part of the bike. Ride my intense, and it will change your mind.
Yeah, yeah. That guy's got he's got a crazy looking intense that is well beyond what my capabilities are.
Yeah. I can hear her laughing down there. It's so distracting. Honey, shush. I'm kidding. So we look forward to this. I'm going to go off the rails here. I always do. That little squirrel in Walnut Springs.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happened?
What happened to him?
Where's the squirrel? What was the squirrel's name again?
It's Jerry. Poor Jerry. Poor Jerry. Yeah, you know what's funny is
I gotta get myself together. Oh, it's Jerry.
Yeah, it's Jerry.
It's Jerry.
My parents are. My dad has become really. He really is. Really liked Jerry over the years.
I totally forgot. Now that I see it.
And I told him, I said, I think Jerry is slowly being phased out, but I can't give up on him yet. So, because you know the story behind Jerry. I built a squirrel picnic table during COVID and posted it to my channel back when I was doing all kinds of stuff on my channel.
Yeah.
And that video was my first like big video. Like it's the one that got me over 200 subscribers and pushed me eventually all the way up to 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jerry, he's on vacation.
Okay. Can we just say that he's on vacation?
Yeah.
There may be a Jerry sighting in the future.
Yeah, there could be. There could be.
See, there you go, honey. That's what happened to Jerry. This is a Rift Zone. Transitions are fantastic bikes. We got the Marin Hawk Hill 2017. He loved that bike.
Oh, that's a nice bike. That's kind of like the Rift Zone. I don't know the exact differences on the Hawk Hill, but I know a lot of people compare those two bikes in the Marin line. I can't remember what the differences are.
Actually, I just started this channel so I can get ideas for a new bike.
There you go. There you go. That's the perfect way to do it.
Back to your kids again. Train off the tracks always. Do they enjoy being a part of your channel? Do they think this is kind of neat?
Yeah, I think, you know, I kind of hope that I'm a little bit inspirational to them, like perseverance and showing that, you know, not giving up on something right away you can actually, you know, do something with it. And I think that they see that, you know, I've developed something that literally made me no money. It cost me money. Like now I'm actually able to support my hobby, which is really where I wanted to be with this. Like I had no aspirations to, you know, be a huge YouTuber and make tons of money on it, but just to not have to worry about like, because my kids are in club volleyball, that's really expensive. And, you know, things just cost a little bit more. I didn't want my hobby to be a burden on my family. And so working at this, they see that, hey, you know, dad's, you know, built this kooky YouTube channel. And what I think really trips them up is I've been to a few of their games and track meets, and I've had people come up to me and they're like, hey, are you RunBikeMike? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I turn my head
for that.
And they recognize me, and it's a cool feeling because you're just like, wow, somebody actually watches this stuff.
Yeah. And
they see you out in the wild, and when your kid's around, you're like, yeah, that's your dad. He's getting recognized.
Well, that's what's also interesting too, is that maybe you have a lot of subscribers, which means that there that many people want to keep watching you. But I'm sure there's many, many more that have stumbled on your channel that aren't subscribed.
Oh, yeah.
Please subscribe to his channel, folks. Hit like and subscribe right now on this. But I think it's really kind of cool for you to have your kids involved in something that you enjoy doing. You know, you're probably always doing something that they enjoy doing.
Right.
but now to have them throw boxes at your head.
Oh yeah. I'm just waiting for them to say, when are we going to do that again? Because I think they enjoyed it a little bit too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
You have another YouTube channel though.
Yeah, I do. I started another one.
Slow.
I actually probably have. I have a couple, but the other ones I don't post anything on. But the next one, the one that you're probably talking about, is actually Walnut Springs.
Walnut Springs.
Yeah, and that one was really thought about, because I have a lot of videos that I've done with like my chainsaw, my tools that don't fit into my RunBikeMike channel anymore.
Yeah,
people watch them all the time, and so I'm like, well, I love tools, so I'm gonna do tool reviews and reviews about all these other things that I have. And now I put zero pressure on myself to publish to that channel. So I haven't posted anything on there for about a month, but I plan on posting a video in the next couple of weeks is my goal. Yeah. And just put something out every once in a while and let it organically grow based off of what I put on there, not because I'm pressuring myself to do something every week.
Yeah, you've got your RunBikeMike.
Yes.
It's Will.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
Uh-huh.
Appreciate that. Goes to the collection. So yeah, you're just going to let that one happen. If it happens, it does. It does
yeah.
what it does.
Yeah, I really I really love that stuff. Like if you go back to a lot of my original videos on RunBikeMike, I did a lot of stuff like that, like building things and out of metal. And I really, really enjoy that stuff. And it's just fun to be able to like create a video about a product that I like, or a thing that I wanted to build to show somebody how to do it, and have a place to put it. That's not RunBikeMike, because it's not like if I put a chainsaw video on RunBikeMike now, it wouldn't make any sense.
No.
Back 3 years ago, it was okay.
That's like calling a mountain bike channel Run.
It's true. I know, right? So you got to help me. What should I name it?
No, you're RunBikeMike. We know he is RunBikeMike. We love you as RunBikeMike.
Settled.
We got Adam Mock here jumping in late. Love what Johnny's doing. Stuff to learn more about RunBikeMike.
Yes. Yes.
That Mock's a good kid out there in SoCal representing.
Yeah. He's the guy with the awesome thumbnails, the crazy good artist.
Yeah, we were talking about you earlier, Adam.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So yeah, organic tool. It sounds to me, and I could be wrong, you enjoy the process of filming and editing now more than.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I really I like. It's almost like a puzzle. I've always been a puzzle person, and being able to take these little things and learn about them, and then put them together and make it entertaining, or as much as entertaining as I can make it.
Yeah.
It's a challenge, and I like that.
Have you upped your editing? I remember you said so you were like on your iPad or
something. I originally started on my phone using a program called LumaFusion, and then I went to my iPad using LumaFusion. And last year I think, or a year and a half ago, I bought a MacBook and went to Final Cut Pro.
Good boy.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's one of those things that I felt like I was outgrowing LumaFusion, even though I wasn't. Like I felt like I was limited by some of the stuff I wanted to do. Where I knew with Final Cut Pro, it's way beyond my ability. So I wouldn't ever have to worry about feeling trapped by the program.
Yeah. You're funny because I do this for a living. I shoot and edit for a living. So now that I'm live, I don't have to do anything.
I know, that's great. Maybe I should switch.
I do. I have teetered on the thought of showing me riding, so people don't think I'm just talking to people. I actually do ride.
But you post reels out there on Instagram.
I thought about doing some actual trail rides, and I'm like, does anybody really want to watch an old out of shape guy like sucking wind?
Well, I would watch. I would watch.
My wife
got one viewer.
You got one viewer.
Yeah.
So because of the Final Cut and all this other stuff, you've kind of rebranded. You're still, I mean, RunBikeMike, but is that something that you created through that? You went the whole 80s style, and I love it. Music.
Yeah, I love that stuff, man. I think the only playlist in music I have now is 80s. I just love it. We have this local band called Members Only, which is an amazing 80s band. They do all kinds of cover stuff. And it just takes me back to like my childhood. And I just love that theme. I love the 8-bit stuff, like the 8-bit pixel art.
Yeah, you've got that on your, when you tally up how much you spent on your budget bike, you got that.
And I didn't see anybody else doing that. So I thought, that's something that I enjoy. It's fun. It's, it's not trying to be something that I'm not. That's kind of really what I am. I love the old school 8-bit video games like the Mario, the NES, the Sega Genesis, all those things. So all that stuff was a really big part of my childhood. So it kind of it fits really well with who I am. And it's just fun. I love it. I mean, I don't know anybody that doesn't like 80s music. It's so good. Don't even.
Love it. Love it. I mean, come on now. 80s is fun.
It is fun. That's the best part about it, is that it's just fun. I mean, there's not really, it's not, almost anywhere you go, you're going to hear a song from the 80s.
And you kind of it's kind of like the 80s hair band.
Yeah.
Rocking out RunBikeMike.
Heck yeah. Yeah.
Did you come up with that yourself? And was that from
I made that in Photoshop. I've been learning how to use Photoshop too.
Oh man, you're just into it now.
Yeah, Photoshop is oh my God. People that are good at it, I'm just it's amazing. Like to me, it's I'm clicking around trying to figure stuff out, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Hello, the members only. Yes, I remember the snaps.
Yes.
I wasn't cool enough to be a member. I didn't even have OP shorts. Did you have OP shorts back then? Ocean Pacific?
Yeah, I had some Ocean Pacific stuff.
No, I had PC.
Yeah.
I
may have had the garage sale Ocean Pacific, but
it was PC. It was from the Pants Corral.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And my mom was like, well, why do I want to spend $40 on these shorts when they're $25 over here?
Yeah, exactly. You know what? They're the same thing, right?
Here we go. What's your favorite 80s jam? Man.
I'm a big, I like, all the big bands, like Bon Jovi. I like a lot of his stuff.
So you were rocking out.
Yeah.
Scorpions.
What's that?
The Scorpions.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not there's one thing that you'll learn about me is that I don't remember actors' names.
Yeah.
And I don't remember band names. But when a song comes on, I'm like,
well,
I know
that you want to crank it up in your IROC Z.
I don't have one, but maybe I should get one for the channel.
With the whole OP Stussy Z Cavarici.
Oh my God.
Did you have those? What about parachute pants?
Oh, of course I had parachute pants. Those are great.
We could go on for this one's fun. This one's fun. I'm a little older, but yes, I lived in the 80s. I did the break dancing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did a little bit of that.
Dance to save my life. I would love to be a break dancer. I watch all those reels and TikToks of people dancing, and I'm like, I think I could do that. No.
This is going in a whole different direction, and I love it.
Should it be Run Dance Mike?
Or Dance Bike Mike?
Mm-hmm. There you go.
80s bands. Gosh, man, that's taking me back.
Yeah.
But see, I was also into the weird stuff. I listened to the alternative.
Yeah.
And punk back then. Okay. Here we go. Is there a video of this breakdancing? No, there is no video. I grew up in a time where there was Thank you, God. There were no cameras back then.
You should do it. You should just open up a TikTok and do the break dancing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just have to. It's Mark Hill, the segment.
There you go.
It's TNC Creations. Did you have any of that? You grew up in Missouri too?
Yeah, I was in West Coast for like a few years, but I was really young, like 5 and 6. But I've been in Missouri my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cure was everything. Did you listen to The Cure?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I have. But like I said, I don't know any of the band names.
I had the Bangs. They hung all the way down.
Oh, man.
Depeche Mode, Billy Idol. Oh, this is getting fun. Everyone's jumping in here now.
See, the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loves them.
Of course, this was my favorite band, the Pixies. You know, the Pixies. Holy cow, we're getting more people in.
Oh, there's Ace Bike Media.
Ace? Ace, your boy?
You get paid for those moves. Yeah. I would definitely not get paid for any of my moves.
Now, your daughter is a very creative person.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Does she help you with any of this, or did she get inspired by you?
Hopefully she got a little inspired by me, but like this little squirrel thing behind me, she cut all that stuff out for me with her little Cricut. And yeah, she's way creative. Actually, like right before we got on here, I was helping her stick a vinyl thing on this giant wooden circle thing that she stained and painted for this lady from her last business thing that she did. So
is she responsible for?
She's not responsible for those. She doesn't have the machine to print those things, so I have to order those separately. But if she did, she would definitely be making those.
I commissioned her.
Yeah.
I commissioned her for something for my boat, overshot the size.
Yeah. It was big.
I got it, and I'm like, because she asked me, folks, I have a boat, and I commissioned her to put our boat's called Our Happy Place, and said, hey, let's do the anchor on there as well.
Yeah.
So adding the anchor made it so much bigger. We were like, where are we going to put this?
It was big. That was the biggest piece of vinyl that she had ever cut out at that particular time.
We're still trying to figure out where we're gonna put it.
Just stick it to a board and then frame it and hang it up.
Oh, you know what? That is an idea.
Yeah.
And hang it somewhere.
There you go. Yeah, her little business it's really cool. It's actually inspired me a lot because she's just, being younger, she doesn't have anything to really lose, so she can take kind of big chances and try different things. But it's been encouraging to see her become like braver at asking people, like interacting with people and asking them for business and, learning how to communicate with people really well. And I've learned a lot from her. Like, okay, you know what? She's willing to step out of her comfort zone to do something. So, I'm her dad. I should be able to do the same thing. Yeah. And it's pushed me a little bit. So encouragement on both sides is what's
amazing. Yeah. Mark loves the 80s.
Of course he does.
Everybody, you know what? We really should. You're bringing it back, gosh darn it.
I don't know if it was me or if it was Stranger Things.
Yep. Well,
that brought a lot of it.
No, it was you. It was you.
Okay. It wasn't me? Okay.
Stranger Things got the idea from you. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but do you feel the pressure now that you've reached this amount of subscribers? Do you feel pressure to keep, or do you just really passionately love the shooting and editing of this?
There's definitely times where there's pressure. Like if I have a product that I've promised a company that I would get something out, that's kind of a little bit of pressure. I don't have a ton of those, but I used to put a lot of pressure on myself to put out a video every week on a Thursday. And I just got to the point where I was like, why am I putting the pressure on myself to do this I should just put them out whenever I get them done, and I get them done to the level that I'm happy with it. And so I've kind of like, it's a slow evolution of how I feel about, you know, my editing process and my capabilities. And then, for instance, like come January through April, there probably won't be as much content because I've got club volleyball for my girls. So I try not to put pressure on myself to do too much, but
first.
Yeah. And I figure, you know, if people have subscribed to the channel, if, you know, I don't put something out that week, I hope that they understand that, you know, I've got these things going on, and I think everybody does. Everybody knows that they've got stuff going on and life's busy. But yeah, I love doing it. And I've told several people that have talked to me about like, oh, hey, I thought about starting a YouTube channel. I'm like, do it, but you're going to have to love it because it's very time consuming. Yeah. And you're going to want to, you got to find your pace, what works for you to make the channel actually grow. So I still don't know what makes it grow. It just, sometimes videos do good. Sometimes they don't.
It's your content and your constant, you know, coming up with it. You're putting it out, man. Like I was joking with you before. Like, have you quit your job because you're putting out love you too, Mark. You haven't quit your job.
No, still full time. Yeah. I like my job. So I'm a software developer. It's a job that I sit behind a desk and I type into a computer, and I enjoy it. I work with good people.
Yeah.
It's a good company that I work for. They respect my family life and they respect my personal life. So there's not a lot of demand after I get off work for anything. So I kind of have that time afterwards to do family stuff, to do YouTube stuff, to mountain bike, to run if I still run. I'm not sure. But yeah, no, I definitely full time. Like I told you before we started the show, like even if this got really big, I don't think it would have to be like insanely big. I don't think I would ever feel comfortable relying on YouTube to pay me full time.
Yeah.
Because at any moment in time, they could pull the rug out from under you. And the job that I have is a really secure job. And like I said, great company to work for, great people. So I have no reason to even think about leaving at this point.
Yeah, quality over quantity. You've got both.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You do. You got great. Such a weird game. Oh, wife wants to know, what kind of software are you allowed to speak of it?
Oh yeah, I do. Well, I've done all kinds of different things, from working on enterprise software for banks. Now I'm currently working for a utility, and I developed a website for them to make like utility payments. And then that got moved on, and they went a different route with it after a couple of years. But then now I'm working on a purchasing and inventory software for internally for the utility. So boring stuff, but
I got nowhere to go with that.
Yeah, it's definitely boring and nerdy, but it does pay the bills, and I like it. So like I don't hate my job, and I've been in those situations where you just hate your job. You don't want to go into it. You don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And it's not like I love working. Don't get me wrong. If I could retire right now, mountain bike all the time, I'm game for that. But it's entertaining enough. It's, again, it goes back to the puzzle solving. Software development is literally a puzzle solving scenario.
Yeah. So you like figuring it out, and it affords you the life that you have with your family, doing it for the love of it, and hope to impact some folks along the way.
There you go.
Great advice.
Yep.
From Mr. Segment.
For sure. Yeah, that's right.
Now, the comment part on this YouTube thing, is that inspirational as well? Do you find, like, because RunBikeMike doesn't get anything negative?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I do.
Did I stump you on that one?
I don't know if you've seen this or not. You probably aren't getting notified for this, but in YouTube, you can now put rules for your comments. So new people that come to your channel, they'll literally, before they make a comment, it pops up these rules and they have to say okay to it. Well, I literally put on there, if you are a negative like commenter and you're just trying to be mean, your comment's going away. And it took me quite a while to kind of get used to people being mean, because some people are just like keyboard warriors that just like to like, you know, not be nice. And I just find that if I don't respond to those, they go out of my mind. They leave my mind. And I'm a big proponent in believing that if you let that stuff fester in your mind, it'll kind of turn you into a negative thinker. So what I like to do is, if there is something negative, I don't respond to it. I may leave it if it's not hurting anybody, if it's not being hateful. But if it's a hateful comment, I boot it out of there. Because for one, if somebody's coming to my channel to see something, they're coming to be entertained. And if they're reading the comments, they're not coming to see somebody be hateful. And if you're being hateful, you're just going to be gone. And I have no shame in deleting people's comments. So
yeah, that's interesting. I would think that somebody would come into RunBikeMike, mountain bike Q&A, if anyone comes to it. You're the segment, Adam. Any of these guys over here on the side, why would you go and leave hate? You're there to watch them. I go to your channel to watch you. I'm not going to go there and go, this guy's an idiot. You know, why are you doing it? So I feel like it's just haters hating and just.
That's what it is. You know, I think that people get bored and they get brave behind a keyboard. That's what it comes down to. And I'm not one. And I think if people like, and I feel bad sometimes, like even on Instagram, like I'm not somebody who just goes through and likes everything. And there's a lot of things that I like, actually, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I'll just scroll down and I won't hit the like. And leaving a comment takes a lot for me. So if you get a comment from me, then I guess it's great. I don't, but yeah. So I'm not a big person to leave comments. So leaving a hateful comment isn't even like something that's in my mind. I'd rather just move past it, just move on. Watch.
Why are you that person?
Yeah, don't be that person.
Yeah, why you're on the channel to look at stuff.
Yeah.
Look, what can we expect? I don't want to. You have family.
No, you're fine. You're fine. They're upstairs doing whatever they're doing.
All right, what can we expect from your channel now? What's coming up besides the? Do you have anything going on back here? And
yeah, I would like this next year to be a lot about new bikes. I have a couple different ideas for different types of bikes that I want to look at. Nothing crazy expensive unless a bike company like sends me something for review. But I would really like to focus more on different bikes that are affordable for all kinds of people. And I've kind of started this with the budget series. I have a couple of different bikes in mind that I want to do some upgrades to that are pretty unique that nobody else is really doing.
Yeah.
And just see if it appeals to people, because there's certain style of mountain bikes that I'm like, that would work great for my area, but it may not work great if you're up in Whistler. Like it may not be perfect for that condition. But I've also want to do like some more product reviews. I've got a bike rack that I've actually am reviewing right now. Cause those are fun to do. Like any type of like component like that, it's just really fun to do.
I was going to say, you've been reviewing a lot of products. Are these people like any of your products? And thank you again for sending this to me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Uniche is a great company. If you guys like want just nice quality products that aren't expensive, they make really cool CO2 inflators. And I think that's the elite version. I think it's the elite. Yeah. And it's really small, compact. I like them. They sent me a few of their products last year or earlier this year, and I reviewed several of them, and I love them. Like I have no complaints about them. There's certain products that you don't have to buy like super high end because you're not going to be using them all the time. I don't know if you've heard of Harbor Freight. Have you heard of Harbor Freight?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I got in this huge debate with one of my buddies at work because he was just getting into tools. And I had to kind of convince him that you don't have to buy the $700 saw.
You can go to Harbor Freight.
You're a homeowner, you probably don't need that, but buy something that's going to be decent. And a lot of these like Uniche makes really nice products, but you're not going to spend $40 for a CO2 inflator. You're going to spend anywhere between $10 and $20 because you're not going to use that CO2 inflator probably more than a couple times a year.
Yeah. Now, are people sending you products because of the channel's success?
Yeah, I've had several people send products. Uniche reached out to me and they wanted to send me some stuff and review it. And I'm like, sure. Now you get some of them that are kind of jokey type products. Like there's a lot of like weird GoPro attachments that they'll email you and they're just they don't feel safe. They feel almost like a phishing scam. And so I do a little bit of research before I reach back out to them, unless it's a company that I really know. Like I had a company reach out to me here recently and I was like, oh, I know exactly who they are. And they were official. They had when they reached out to me, they had like the little check mark on Instagram. And I was like, okay, that's easy. That's easy to know that that's actually a legit thing.
So, do you ever feel awkward, like when somebody sends you something and you're like, can I be honest?
Oh, good, I tell them that. I tell them straight up, like, what was it? I can't remember what it was that I reviewed. I can't remember what it was, but there was a certain point whenever I started getting products and I was like, I have to be very clear to the people that are sending me these things that I'm going to be straight up and if I don't like the product or if there's problems with it, I'm going to say it in my video, but I'm pretty picky on what I receive. So like I knew whenever I got the Uniche stuff based off of looking at it and looking at Amazon reviews that this is probably going to be a good product.
Yeah.
And so I knew that there probably wasn't going to be a lot wrong with it, but there may be some things that I wouldn't be able to find. And so I usually try to like narrow things down. Like if somebody was going to send me something, I was like, oh, I don't need that selfie stick. That doesn't make any sense. But so, yeah, I don't get a ton of products into me, but I get something I would say probably once every 2 months, I'll get somebody who wants to send me something that I'm willing to accept and make a little video about it.
Well, thanks for that, man.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things where they sent me several products and you can see up there, my point. Yeah. That's their torque wrench that they sent me, which was really cool. And, when they sent me those CO2 pumps or inflators, they sent me like 4 different ones. And I'm like, I don't need 4. So I'm just gonna give them out to like friends and whoever I meet. Like I don't need to hang on to this stuff. I don't know if you watch Seth Bike Hacks or whatever it's called now. He recently talked about like having a whole bunch of like items.
Oh yeah, he talked about getting the bikes and how they just forget.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm just going to give these things away to people. I don't need this stuff cluttering up my life. So we're looking at bike builds.
Yes. Reviews.
Yeah.
80s style.
That's right.
It's just, I can't, I brought you back on, not just because like I said, I didn't run out of people to talk to. I am floored by your progress.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
It's not because of, quantity over quality, quality over quantity. It's both, man. You put out something. I look forward to it every week.
Oh, thanks. That means a lot. I mean, really, honestly, like whenever I get positive feedback and comments and people say, hey, I look forward to seeing your stuff. It means a lot because I do put a lot into this. And I know pretty much everybody on YouTube who is, been on for a while and trying to do stuff, they're putting a lot into this. This isn't an easy process by any means. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but I really enjoy it. So I appreciate that.
No, I'll tell you, there are a handful that I always when I go to work, I always get to work a little early because I make my own breakfast and bring it. And as you can see, do you see those comments down there?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? 3 haters.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is, but I'm gonna go ahead and block. So I bring my breakfast to work. I sit in front of the computer and I catch up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you are one of the firsts that I always go straight to because I know you're going to put out a great product. You're going to be entertaining. It's letting my mind go away for 7 to 8 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just
great. I love that. I love hearing that. That makes it really worth it. So you kind of eat, and I'm sure you go through this, and everybody who does YouTube, you kind of just wonder, like, okay, who's watching this? Like, are people watching this? Like, you see the views, but you're just like, are people watching this?
Yeah, nobody's watched it. Actually, we've got a really great crowd of what side? This side over here. We got. I thank everybody for coming on. I gotta let this guy get back to his life. Mike, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I was super excited whenever you reached out to me a while back saying, hey, I'd like to get with you and do another chat online. This is fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, and it was so great. It's like meeting up with an old friend.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I don't know do you know what number I was on your channel? Was I 2?
You were the second one. You were the brave. I probably had 20 subscribers. Now I think I have 22 subscribers now.
No way. You're closing in on what? 200?
No.
Yeah, you are.
You make me cry.
You are too. I'll pull up your channel on here and
no, I think $1.70.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. Gosh darn it. I'm pushing.
There's one thing I'll let you know. I'll let you know real quick. Like anybody who's, and I know you're probably needing to move on, but anybody who's creating a YouTube channel, getting to the first 100 is really hard to do. It takes a lot to get to that point, but getting your next point from 100 to 500 seems to move quicker than it does from 0 to 100. Yeah. Like you grow exponentially, and it's just a matter of like, putting the content out there like you're putting it out there. People are seeing it, and your stories are hilarious that you put out there where you're talking to the camera. Every time I see one, it just puts a smile on my face. I'm like, oh, there he is. There he goes.
There he goes, that crazy guy. No, it's a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. I really enjoy chatting with other creators and getting to know them. And you're incredible, dude.
Oh, thank you.
Great work. Thank your family so much for allowing me the time.
Yeah.
Tell your daughter I'm going to do something with that when I do.
Yeah. Well, when you do, you can take a picture of it.
I'll take it. But folks, I'm going to put his. I will never, ever get this right. Somewhere in this realm will be RunBikeMike, and get to know him, subscribe, love him. Don't hate.
That's right. Don't hate.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining along. This was a lot of fun. Mike.
Yeah.
Where's my thumb? See, I didn't even do that. I'm over here. Take care, brother.
Hey,
Thank you so much.
Yep.